Hey, this is Principal Bob, and I spend an awful lot of time talking VWs and ID4s and Q4s from the Audi world. People ask me all the time about other cars and how they compare to VW, but the question that I get over and over and over, more than anything else, is, hey, when are you going to get the Buzz? Well, I tell you what, I think I need to find out a little more about the Buzz. So here's the plan. I'm heading off to sunny California, and I'm going to go to the Petersen Museum down in LA, and we're going to go take a look at the VW display. We're going to take a look at the new Buzz, and they also have a fantastic new exhibit on Tesla and all of the advances Tesla's made in all the different models. So we'll go take a look at a Tesla truck, we'll go take a look at a Cybertruck, we're going to take a look at all kinds of good stuff. And I'm about ready to go and share that with you right now. So once again, thanks for joining me on the Electric Principal. This is Principal Bob. See you in California. Hey, this is the brand new Tesla Cybertruck, and I hope you didn't buy one last week because I hear this thing's on sale for 20% off right now. This is a 1952 VW Transporter Type 2. This is one of the originals, and a 23 window version, the iconic bus. And what's cool about VW is they've always been about evolution as well as revolution, constantly changing designs, trying to improve them over time. And when you look at this bus, you know, there's not that much difference really between this and a 62 or a 72. They keep that same look going, they just slowly improve the design. So why not improve it one more time? So one of the highlights of the Petersen Museum right now is this European version of the ID Buzz. And this is my first chance to walk up and actually see one. And the size is larger than I expected. It really is. It has more physical size. It is a robust looking vehicle. I expected it to be smaller. What the surprising thing about this is the small version. The American version is going to have more horsepower, bigger battery, 300-mile range, and it's going to have more passenger space. But once again, we were just looking at that beautiful early 1950s Transporter, and look at what VW's carried over. You know, it's got the two-tone paint going, a very similar design. There's so many homages to the old Transporter in the brand new VW Buzz. One of the things I'm noticing with this car is how much space there is between the front end of the car and where the passenger and the driver sit. So you've got a big shelf there that you're looking over the top, but that's understandable for safety reasons and to make the car aerodynamic. You know, you can't just square this car off and turn it into an electric car. You've got to have that front end rounded and shaped so that you've got some efficiency when it's going down the road. Because we know from driving regular cars that even a small break in the aerodynamics of a car wreak havoc with the mileage. Even putting a bike rack on a car, electric car, can drop it 15 to 20% of the range that you're going to get with this vehicle. So a couple of other thoughts, that Brother Pat and Roberta, my partners in crime here today, came up with, is the height of this vehicle is super tall. I mean, I'm only 5'8" on a good day, and you can really see that this car is well over 6 feet tall from top to bottom. The doors are super wide, super big. The entry and egress of this vehicle is going to be spectacular. The thing sports 20-inch tires right now as it is, and so it'll be really interesting to see when they actually lengthen this thing out, up the battery power to it, to the Americanized version, which will probably be built in the United States. Originally, they were going to import this particular vehicle into the States, but what's happened with the tax breaks and incentives is it's going to be much more valuable to VW and their customers if they produce this somewhere in the United States, and a tax credit would come along with this. You know, on just looking again at this would make a fabulous handicap vehicle. I'm just looking at the entryway, the size of those doors, and it would not take much imagination to be able to turn this into a really valuable handicap vehicle or for a business because the size of it is pretty impressive. The front end is wonderful. And you know, at first I was a little worried when this design was changed from the original, but they're pretty true to it with that W badge, VW badge on the front, and the lighting system that they've got set up. And I like the V shape in the front where the white and orange paint meet, because that's kind of true to the original. Looks great. Really is a handsome looking vehicle, much more so than I did not anticipate it being as good looking as it really is. It's beautiful. These 20-inch tires on this vehicle look like they're really about 16-inch tires because the rest of the vehicle is so large. It is also equipped with the fold-in mirrors, which are very nice. Now, when you notice on the new ID4s, only the top of the line ID4s now have fold-in mirrors. So, you know, what this looks like and what the American version will look like when it comes out remains to be seen. Yeah. And when you take a look at the inside of this vehicle, you've got the new VW twin monitors. You've got a larger one on the right. You've got the small one on the wheel. I still really like that design because you can see where you're going. You can read all of the instruments very simply. You're not having to look at the main screen to get the most important data. This is an ID3 cutaway with the battery pack and twin motor version, a motor in the front and the back. Unfortunately, this car never made it to America because I still think we'd sell a bunch of them. But instead we got the ID4, which is the SUV version of this particular car. This is a 2017 Roadster 2, and it's a very simple design. You can see it's got all the traditional Tesla elements, particularly the hood, which I love that they kept it. It's kind of like Porsche now, where they're trying to keep a design that's, when you see a car, you know that it's a Tesla. So when you look at this truck, at first glance, this thing is as large as any other pickup. It's got a very shortened front end outside, but the dash is way back in the particular vehicle. It's a really aggressive looking vehicle, and you can tell by the back end that it's kind of a smooth, slick surface. But there's more room in the back of this pickup than I thought. When I originally saw the videos of it, I didn't think it was going to have that much space, but it really does have a good chunk of space in the back. You know, what's daring about this design is that he is not going after the traditional pickup driver. This is not the average guy at all. This is a completely different type of person who wants to own an urban assault vehicle, because let's face it, that's what it looks like. Now, a lot of car companies come out with designs that never get built. And this design came out in 2019. It has yet to be produced. But the word on the street is that this is actually going to come out. And it might be a slightly smaller version than this particular vehicle. But we'll see what actually comes out of the Tesla factory. This is the exploded view of the Y again. And once again, you can see how small that motor really is in effect, and how little weight that makes up of the car. The weight is that battery pack that's on the bottom. But you can see this is a performance model. You can tell because of the brake system, red calipers, really car designed for performance. Engine in the front, engine in the back, all-wheel drive. Bottom of a Tesla, where the battery pack is opened up, and you can see how many batteries are packed in there. And what's surprising to me is the size of the batteries. They are large. Those batteries are at least 1.5 inches across, and they're probably 3 inches long, each one of them. When you look at Tesla, they started a revolution, and nobody believed that they could make cars, make a profit, or survive, and that's exactly what they did. So why risk this over Twitter? Tesla has created a style that is as distinguishable as anything Apple makes. You know, you just know it's Tesla when you look at it in the lines. It's really cool. The center console position for the driving is great. It is good looking. I think this looks a lot better design-wise than the Cybertruck, because I think the Cybertruck gets away from what a Tesla looks like. A collection of 1960 bugs from the Petersen Museum vault. Hey, this is Principal Bob, the electric principal, and I am at the Petersen Museum today. And besides showing you a few special electric vehicles, I want to show you some of my favorite cars of all time, and this would be the 300 Gullwing SL by Mercedes. And the reason this is here today is because this is part of the Andy Warhol exhibit. He did a gorgeous job making his commercial prints, becoming famous for it. And of course, he picked out some of the most beautiful objects in the world to paint, well, besides the Campbell soup can. But most of the things he did were beautiful, and this is one of them. This is a 1937 Mercedes-Benz Grand Prix car, and you can see in the background the Warhol art that it inspired. Iconic is the only word you can use to describe this beautiful machine. 1954 Mercedes-Benz Grand Prix car, just an absolute stunning car. Gorgeous lines. And the prints that were inspired by this beautiful Mercedes Grand Prix car. So we're in the Petersen Museum, and all the cars are covered because there's tons of rain in California right now, and they are busy trying to make sure the cars stay dry. They've also got fans running everywhere. 1979 Volkswagen Type 2 Transporter used in the movie Little Miss Sunshine. That's a gorgeous... I love that movie.